Hello, welcome to our podcast. I'm Juliana.
And I'm Jackie.
And we're going to discuss the decolonization of our countries, the Philippines and Thailand. I'll start first. The current name of the Philippines is the Republic of the Philippines, and it used to be named Las Islas Filipinas, which translates to the Philippine Islands.
The current and past names of the country. Thailand was previously known as Siam until 1939. The name change symbolized the nation's desire for independence and modernization.
The Philippines gained independence twice, first from Spain and then the second from the United States.
It gained independence once from foreign rule in the early 20th century, primarily maintaining its sovereignty, which is quite unique in Southeast Asia. This is different from many neighboring countries which were colonized by European powers.
So as I stated, the Philippines did gain independence twice. First on June 12, 1898 from Spain, and then second on June 4th, 1946.
The events leading up to Thailand's independence were marked by significant reforms in the late 1800s and early 1900s, aimed at modernizing the country. In contrast, many countries in the region had to fight against colonial powers, often leading up to wars and revolutions.
So for the Philippines, obviously it was a Spanish colony for about 300 years until there was a rise in Filipino nationalism, and there were a lot of groups that started rebelling, and they started forming groups like a Katipunan, and that organization was the Filipino Revolutionary Secret Society, founded in 1892. And there were other groups, but they were mostly led by Emilio Aguinaldo and Jose Rizal, and a revolution began in 1896 against Spain. And also around that time there was the Spanish-American War. And after the Philippines had gained independence from Spain, the United States colonized the Philippines after winning the Spanish-American War in 1898. And in December of 1898, Spain gave up Cuba, Guam, Puerto Rico to the United States, and also sold the Philippines to the U.S. for $20 million. And this is how the United States got control over the Philippines. And Emilio Aguinaldo, who had fought against Spain, now fought against the U.S. to gain their independence. The Philippine and American War lasted from 1899 to 1902, but the Philippines were still under American rule. And that was until the United States passed a treaty in which it granted the Philippines greater political autonomy and promised eventual independence. And the Dings-McDuffie Act of 1934 was established in order to transition the Philippines towards full independence from the United States. And this process would last about 10 years. And during World War II, the United States and Philippines fought together to liberate the country. And after World War II had ended, the United States went through their promise and granted them independence through the Treaty of Malina.
Since independence, Thailand has faced challenges such as political instability and economic crisis. In comparison, many neighboring countries have had to deal with ongoing military conflicts or civil wars, which further complicated their development. Another challenge for Thailand has been its struggle with inequality in corporations. Similar to my partner's country, also has dealt with similar issues in inequality, but also perhaps with different historical contexts influencing these challenges. Now, looking at successes, Thailand has thrived in tourism, becoming a top destination globally. This success contrasts with my partner's country, which may have achieved prosperity in different sectors like technology or agriculture. When we have discussed the impacts of globalization and technology on Thailand since independence, we can see massive growth in communication and travel technology. In comparison with my partner's country, might have experienced these challenges differently. One of Thailand's biggest successes since independence is its strong tourism industry, with significantly boosts the economy in comparison with neighboring countries like Malaysia. Also thrive on tourism and have developed robust infrastructure. Both countries have made significant strides in promoting their unique cultures, drawing international visitors in. However, while Thailand's economy has leaned heavily on tourism, Indonesia has focused on diversifying its economic base, including natural resources and manufacturing. Both nations showcased the impact on their political evolution on development, yet had approached economic growth in distinct ways shaped by their unique circumstances.
So some challenges that the Philippines did face after independence was economically and politically. Economic wise, the country did grow, but some portion of the country still lives in poverty to this day. And politically, they faced political issues such as rulers. Ferdinand Marcos was the 10th president of the Philippines from 1965 to 1986. In the Philippines, was during his rule, the economy weakened, and he was overall a controversial figure. But a success involving that was the country united. And in 1886, many Filipinos started a people power revolution, which was a peaceful protest that forced dictator Ferdinand Marcos to flee the country. Regarding the topic of Maine, I would say nationalism played a role in the decolonization of the Philippines because during the revolutions, their strong national pride had been a driving force for them to keep fighting and to overall gain that independence. And same thing with imperialism, because the Philippines had experienced imperialism from both the United States and Spain, which influenced its culture, politics, and overall identity. And I would say that my country's partner also faced similar issues to this because they were under rule by someone else. Thank you for listening to our podcast.